You didn't play LSU last year, right? I know, I'm an LSU guy. What year are you in school?
Junior.
So you played them every year then. So
Yeah, besides last year.
okay, and who else did you guys miss that you normally play? Okay, all right. I may ask you about rivalries that changed. So. Okay, we have our final guy this morning, Isaac from Mississippi State. We will open it up to questions. Dan, would you like to start on the left side?
Dan Pack, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. It was Coach Levy's first year as a head coach in his career. Have you noticed any differences in him this offseason? Any growth, any development from Coach?
Leb comes every day with the same energy, same vibes. He's always fun to be around, and just comes with a lot of energy. So, if I say anything, he's been like more locked in on us being better than what we were last year.
The SEC changed a little bit yesterday, and some of the rivalries aren't getting to be played like they were. What did you miss last year about teams that you'd faced earlier in your career?
I love playing against LSU, and just the energy that they brought when they played. It was always scrappy, and that was fun. Kentucky as well. We had to play Kentucky, I think, 14 years in a row before last season, and that was always a fun rivalry. But I miss playing those guys a lot.
What about the Egg Bowl? How big is that in Mississippi? You're a Mississippi native.
It's awesome, just playing those guys year in, year out. You know what you're going to get that week. You know what you're going to get that game. It's going to be scrappy. It's a lot of respect for those guys, but, at the same time, neither one of us like each other.
On the left side, second row.
Hello again, David Edelstein from WJTV in Jackson, Mississippi. Just wanted to ask about the changing landscape of college sports with revenue sharing starting and NILs, of course, a few years now, and transfer portal and all that. In your experience, just, as a student athlete yourself, how do you feel like all of this with the money and everything could potentially change recruiting going forward, especially for a team that's continuing to build like Mississippi State?
I feel like it just takes kids getting to go see these places. I try to tell all the recruits that come that money's going to be there. At the end of the day, you're still playing football. I feel like now it's like a job. You can get cut, you can, you lose money, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're still playing football.
On the aisle, third row, and then pass it over, please.
Hi, Isaac. AP Stedham, AP as we see it. Isaac, what would you like to see from the defense this year that will lead to improvement?
I would just say execution. We had a lot of missed execution last year. Coach Hustler preaches it day in and day out. We lacked, execution the whole season, really. Missed tackles, missed assignments. And quite frankly, that's why we lost a lot of games. I think we were last in about everything. So, having 10 sacks, you can't win that way. So we got some guys at the portal that's came in that's ready to work and ready to compete. And I think we're going to surprise a lot of people this year defensively.
On the aisle here.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX in College Station. Going back to your recruiting, I know that you'd kind of taken a visit at A&M. What were your impressions there at College Station at Texas A&M?
I loved College Station. That was one of my top 5 schools. I liked Coach Fisher that was there at the time. And, at the end of the day, I just found home in Starkville. There's no distractions in Starkville, small town, real pretty community. The people are awesome, and I fell in love with it, and I'm still in love with it, and will forever always be in love with it.
Right side, back row.
Hi, Isaac. Carmen Corley with WTOK Meridian. If you had a message to State fans ahead of the season, what would it be?
We've been working our tail off all summer long. We had a great spring. The new guys we got, they've been working real hard. The offense, they look really, really well. The defense, we did a lot of things to fix what we had last year, and it's going to be a fun season.
We'll stay in the middle here, fourth row.
Carlo Brown, WCBI TV in Columbus, Mississippi. Isaac, Jeff Lebby was talking about earlier. He said that despite the struggles that the defense had last year, that they see the vision, and specifically shouted out you, said Isaac Smith sees the vision and what we're trying to accomplish on our defense. I want to ask just what are you seeing in the defense that maybe some other people are overlooking?
Last year I feel like a lot of the criticism got put on our coaches, but I always tell the guys, the coaches can't go out there and play for us. It's up to us to go execute and make the plays, and that's what we didn't do last year. So defensively, if we can go out there, get stops this year, I have all the faith in the world that Blake gonna go get the ball to guys like Brennan, Anthony Evans, and Lev's gonna call those plays to get the ball in the end zone. And maybe like this year we'll be on the other side of things instead of going home with our sad and mad that we lost close games that we should have been winning.
Left side, back row.
Blake was in here earlier, and he talked about being more comfortable and working on his leadership this offseason. What have you noticed as far as Blake being more of a leader, and where's the leadership on the team coming from?
Mm-hmm. Blake's been a lot more vocal. I feel like this has been his second year here. He's starting to understand that Mississippi State culture and what it used to be like in Starkville and what it can be in Starkville again. We got a lot of guys that lead that's been at Mississippi State for 2 or 3 years now that understands like the purpose behind everything that Coach Levy's doing and the strength staff and what all the coaches are preaching, as well as we got players that lead by example, that don't like to talk, but they come, they work hard each and every day, and those young guys that get to see that, and it's like, okay, maybe they don't talk, but they show it by the way they work. So just having different types of leaders on the team, it goes a long way.
Second row.
Isaac, with a game like against Southern Miss, it's not the same as the Egg Bowl at the end of the season, but to you, I guess, what do you make of having another in-state game and being able to start off the season that way?
It'll be fun. It'll be a bunch of Mississippi fans throughout the whole state. So if they like Mississippi State or Southern Miss, that game's gonna be packed at the Rock, and it's gonna be fun. It'll be a hot game. I think it's a 3:30 kick in Hattiesburg, so that's gonna be really fun down there, especially seeing a bunch of guys that you played in high school. So it'll be fun.
On the aisle here.
One of your new teammates is Malik Silla. Kind of what is he like as a teammate, and what do you feel like he's going to bring to this team?
That was a great addition we added to our edge group. I feel like he's going to be one of the guys that can come in and get after the quarterback and help us get more than 10 sacks this year. So his work ethic's really good, and he's been around great players at A&M, and now he's going to come here and show everybody what he can do.
We have time for 2 final questions. We'll stay on the end.
Chrissy Freud, USA Today. As much as you can go into it, is there anything different from the defense schematically that maybe you think that we could see? And then also, Mississippi State, having been around there, has a very different mentality as kind of an underdog with something to prove, but has been on top several times historically. What does it mean to play for Mississippi State, and how can you kind of describe how it's different than other places might be?
Okay. Schematically, Coach Hustler does a great job with day in and day out of doing things to help us if it's changing calls so where we understand it or to where certain players understand it. He does a great job and being a DC and being a leader there. And it's going to be a good season. I think it'll be a lot similar, but there's not much there to that. And then Starkville, Mississippi State, we're blue collar. That's what I love about it. Really got it out the mud place. And I love that. That's really the whole state of Mississippi. And I love the fact that Mississippi State's always been about that and, just working hard and going to prove something that maybe people don't think that you can do.
Final question, Dan, on the end.
Brennan was in here earlier. He mentioned that he's a small town guy, and that was one of the things that attracted him to Starkville. Does it take a certain kind of personality and a kind of the right kind of attitude to embrace the city of Starkville and playing for Mississippi State?
The people there are so welcoming, but when it comes to football, you're going to have to be ready to get dirty down and have some fun to play football. You got to really love the game. I'll say it's not a place for everybody because it's not like these big cities and big towns. It's a small, pretty place that's just awesome to be at. If you don't look like there's no distractions in Starkville, it's strictly football and school and just having fun and playing ball.
Isaac, thank you very much.
Thank you.